Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we are going to be talking about Ripple and XRP, as well as the vast majority of crypto and finance. And with that being said, I hope that you are all having a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are out there in the world. We are officially in 2024, and with that, I do believe that this is going to be the year of change, as we do see here from Gold Telegraph. And the reason why is because, listen, right? In 2023, we saw a lot of big events happen. We have also been waiting on a lot of big events. For an example, Basel III, which is a huge change to the entire banking sector. We're still looking into standardization, ISO 20022, obviously, ISO TC 307. There is a lot of big things to look into around standardization. Then, of course, we do look at regulations around crypto, of course. For those that are not aware at this point in time, and I think that everyone should be, especially if you have been watching the channel for a little bit of time, crypto is essentially 100% proven to be a big piece of this new financial system that is coming. It is the fourth industrial revolution. This is crucial to note, and it's crucial to be looking into and focused on. I actually put out a full-on course over on NCashOfficial.com outlining everything that has been happening around the fourth industrial revolution and how crypto plays a big role in terms of this new monetary system. Now, outside of that, this post by Gold Telegraph really kind of outlines a lot of things that are happening around energy, currencies, and even change. 2024, the year of change. 2024 is going to be a transformational year. We're not talking about the price of cryptocurrencies here. We're not talking about the bull run. We're not talking about any of that. We're talking about fundamental change to our global system. Russia and China's energy trade is soaring. The two countries don't use the dollar anymore, and trading countries around the world are beginning to utilize local trade. China continues to encourage Gulf nations to utilize the Shanghai Petroleum and National Gas Exchange for yuan-based oil and gas trade settlement. This includes Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, Qatar, Kuwait, Bahrain, and even Oman. As Brics is set to expand on January 1st, which, guess what, it's now January 2nd, with Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates likely to join, it's highly expected that more and more local currencies will play a role in trade. In fact, China said in August that the BRICS members should study local currency cooperation payment tools and platforms and promote local currency settlements, and members should strengthen cross-border payment cooperation. We also know that the BRICS were looking into cryptocurrencies for cross-border settlement. This is crucial to note. They have also been fully focused on crypto-driven payment systems and networks outside of SWIFT. In August, Saudi Arabia's foreign minister also commented that the kingdom is the largest BRICS trading partner in the Middle East in total bilateral trade, with the countries of the group exceeding $160 billion in 2022. $160 billion. This is massive. This brings us to the issue of the petrodollar deal and its impact on the US. The connections between the dollar and the global energy markets have deep historical roots, such as the 1945 agreement between President Franklin D. Roosevelt and King, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name, which traded Saudi energy supplies for US security guarantees. Over time, a substantial portion of petrodollars earned by the oil producers were reinvested in assets like treasury bonds. But today, we are witnessing many nations divesting from their US treasuries and diversifying their reserves into assets like gold, which, by the way, for those that are not aware, the central bankers have been stockpiling massive amounts of gold. And we question why. Right? We question if we are going back to the gold standard. We question what's going to be happening with gold. We are going to outline this in this video. This was kicked into high gear following the United States and its allies' decision to freeze around $300 billion of sovereign Russian assets in the West in early 2022. And at the same exact time, guess what we've seen? All right, so first and foremost, sanctions on Russia through SWIFT. The US dollar is now utilized as a financial weapon against these individuals like Russia, for example. But also, we've seen the same exact day, basically. It was just like a day or two later, we've seen the introduction of Executive Order 14067. It was talking about digital assets, CBDCs, a US CBDC. They even confirmed that the Fed was now exploring and looking into a CBDC for the US. This tells us that this move that the US did in terms of sanctions and freezing assets, it was an accelerator for the new financial system. This year alone, we saw 20% of oil transactions settled in currencies other than the dollar. As Saudi Arabia prepares to join Brics in a few days, the influence of the petrodollar may begin to wane gradually. One of the most fascinating things in 2023 was when billionaire mining legend Robert Ivanhoe said that he had been to Saudi Arabia about 10 times in the last year and that there was a very active effort from about half of humanity to break the dollar. And then also mentioned to many individuals, these three here, that an alternative to the dollar is being worked on, which will likely to be backed by precious metals and base metals in an actual basket. This is where we look at gold, silver, things like that. And then we also look at an ESDR, an introduction of an ESDR. A lot of people thought that XRP was going to be that. We don't know, could definitely be. But also, when we talk about gold, I believe why we are seeing all these central bankers really stockpiling massive amounts of gold is because we are going to see CBDCs issued out on DLT backed by gold. And this is also why I say Basel III is a big deal, because now when we talk about gold on the balance sheets, it has to be physical gold. It can't be paper. The paper reports on gold and things like that is false. It's false and it's inflated in terms of the amount of gold that's actually out there. So this is going to change the entire game. It's also going to allow for banks to have to report accurate reserves, which could very well cause a major issue within the banking sector. Saudi Arabia is strategically taking minority stakes in global mining assets worldwide as part of its Vision 2030 to diversify the economy beyond oil. The goal is to transform the kingdom into a resource hub, particularly for minerals like copper, in response to the global transition that demands increased mineral production due to shortages in many key elements. It is a brilliant strategy. Now, beyond all of this, right, there's a lot going on here. It seems as though Brics has become a powerhouse around power, energy, things like that. We also know that China is the largest producer of gold. Saudi Arabia is the leader of OPEC and the OPEC Plus group and is the second largest oil producer as well. They are coming together at a crucial time in history when the US dollar seems as though it is losing steam, the US is falling behind, things like that. But what if I told you that all of this is by plan? With the rise of central bank digital currencies, the strategic acquisition of global mining assets, and the development of domestic mining resources by Brics member countries, coupled with the ongoing evolution of global commodity markets, 2024 seems to be poised to be a transformative year on multiple fronts. And a lot of this is all regarding digital structure. I believe strongly in my thesis. Years ago, I mentioned how gold will slowly morph into international trade in a digital structure as nations will need stability, and gold provides that. Again, this is all coming together at a crucial time. Everything is falling into place. The Brics have been moving very, very fast. Just recently, we've seen a report saying that Brics have doubled overnight. Today, the UAE, Saudi Arabia, Ethiopia, Egypt, and even Iran are officially members of Brics. They join, and they do mention all of the players that are tied to Brics, as a formidable economic powerhouse representing 29% of the global GDP and 43% of global oil production. This is only going to continue to grow, and this is becoming a big problem. It's becoming a big deal. And I mentioned this at a time where I do think that we need to start paying attention on this, because as we see these changes, specifically around the energy markets, it's also alluring to the idea that we are about to see something change around the reserve currency status. Now, I've talked about this, and I've been addressing this. Go back in time to July. Big update that we've seen from CoinDesk with James Wallace, which for those that are not aware, James Wallace is a CBDC head at Ripple. This got posted by Crypto Darren Fame 21 More. There are 195 countries in the world. James says that 5 announced, 5 not announced in terms of CBDCs working with Ripple. Conversations with 20 more. If the conversations turn into signed deals, that is 30 out of the 195 or 15.38% running on Ripple CBDC platform. I mentioned this multiple times last year. Check this out.
I would tell you that outside of the US, the SEC case, had almost no impact on our ability to get conversations and projects going with central banks. I know here in the US, we focus a lot on the US, that's what you'd expect. But the reality is that the rest of the world does not see things the same way. I think it's been clear for a while that countries like the UK and Switzerland and Japan have been very clear that XRP is not a security. So anyway, moving on to the CBDC side, it's not really been an impediment. Since we started 2.5 years ago on this project, We've announced 5 different countries that are working with us. We have a similar number that are not announced, and then we have 20 plus other active discussions underway. So we've announced 5 different countries that are working with us. We have a similar number that are not announced, and then we have 20 plus other active discussions underway.
And we actually heard from James Wallace yet again, and he was mentioning about roughly 30 discussions now. So this seems to be expanding pretty quickly. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because if we go all the way back to November 17th, 2022, this was James Wallace again, VP of Central Bank Engagements and CBDCs at Ripple. Took the stage day one of Swell Global. This was over a year ago. We're talking a year and a few months. To discuss why technology that powers the XRP ledger is primed for CBDCs and exactly who will need to strategize for a CBDC future. Check this out.
Ledger is, world-leading public blockchain, which was built for payments and issuing currencies, so it's a natural fit for CBDCs. We've taken that and basically providing a private version of that for the central banks. Something that's going to be absolutely critical for the success of CBDCs and the adoption of them is the relationship between the public sector and the private sector. As I mentioned earlier, we view that the public sector, the central banks working with the government will be the designers, the rule setters in terms of policy, and the implementers of the platform for the core capabilities around wholesale and retail CBDC, but that the use cases will come from the private sector. The list just goes on and on and on. There's literally, endless potential use cases.
So as we really look at this video, I know that it was a little messed up because X is sometimes glitchy with older videos, but regardless, CBDCs are on the rise. We know 93% of central banks are already looking into this at a time where we are starting to see oil and, major trade changing. It's no longer the US dollar. Now, a lot of people think that this is going to be, the US dollar falling and the United States is going to collapse because even over here, 20% of global oil settlements use currencies other than the US dollar. This is very significant. Brics is about to expand officially. The petrodollar has granted the US a significant advantage for decades. Historic events are playing out right now. And it has been over time, right? Over time, it's been roughly 100 years for every single reserve currency life cycle. It's been over 100 years now for the US dollar, right? The US dollar has been the reserve currency for well over 100 years or even close to it. So now significant change is happening. And the question is, will we have a reserve currency? And the reason why I bring this up is because I've talked about it with XRP. Instant settlement. Why is instant settlement so crucial? Is it just because it streamlines our global financial system? Is it because we are still, working around a financial system that's outdated and the rails have not been updated? No. What instant settlement does is it eliminates the need for a reserve currency. For those questioning out there why, it's very simple. The US dollar with the petrodollar deal, okay, gave it a major backing. It provided a foundation layer for the US dollar, and it allowed for the US dollar to be the dominant currency globally. It also allowed for the US dollar to retain value for the longest time for those transactions that are taking 3, 5, 9 business days to settle. The value of the US dollar wouldn't change drastically. But when you have instant settlement, you don't need to worry about value change because it is settling in an instant. It's not taking 3 to 5 days or so to settle that transaction. That's why a reserve currency is so damn crucial in today's society, because financial transactions are not settling instantly. You need something of stable value. Stable value is a crucial thing to note here. But when you have something that is providing an instant settlement capability, you no longer need reserve currencies. There's no need for a reserve currency. This is also why David Schwartz did mention in Twitter Spaces, he mentioned how XRP could be a reserve currency technically. I don't look at XRP as a reserve currency. I look at it more so as a reserve bridge currency. But this is crucial to mention because it would not be controlled by anyone. There's no reserve currency that is dominated by a specific country, which alleviates a lot of the pain points that we are seeing in today's society, how the US dollar has become massively inflated, $30+ trillion worth of debt. It has been hammering lower income economies around the world. A lot of, these areas are collapsing financially because of what the US has been doing with the dollar. The dollar has been weaponized. But I bring all this up because, we're talking about CBDCs. We're talking about 93% of the world moving towards CBDCs. The fourth industrial revolution seems as though it's underway. We are seeing transformative change already occurring. And now it seems as though this year, it's only going to continue to increase. Over here is a great video that got posted by MetaMan X, and they removed this video off of the Ripple website. It was originally from the Ripple website, and it's as a bridge currency, CBDC to XRP to CBDC, from Ripple's website. It's not made up. You can look it up. Now, listen closely to this video and understand what's actually happening here and understand Ripple's goal.
Finally, a Ripple-designed CBDC can provide a means to bridge disparate currencies through XRP. Its inherent interoperability can allow for connection with other central bank ledgers for efficient cross-asset and cross-border transactions. This can be done with cross-issuance, using XRP as a bridge currency or via cross-ledger communication protocols. This reduces the risk that institutions are forced to accept when transacting across multiple networks or currencies in the current system. The creation of a CBDC provides powerful benefits for the economy and people of an adopting central bank. It's technology that places trust in digital money in the hands of a central bank that can guarantee accessibility to funds and the resulting services, as is the case with cash today. The result? An improved foundation for global financial development where businesses, commercial banks, and ultimately people can unlock new economic potential. Work with Ripple to build a custom pilot designed for your country.
And of course, as you really look into this, you could see how they are positioning XRP at the center point of all CBDCs. Here is a great image in this video. And let me just zoom in for you guys. You have all of these different central bank digital currencies. You have all the central banks here. And you have XRP perfectly positioned as that bridge currency. This is crucial to mention. Now, for XRP to actually bridge CBDCs, it needs increased liquidity. How are we going to increase the liquidity of XRP? Because a lot of people think that XRP right now is the most liquid digital asset in the space. And technically, yeah, you could argue that that is true. But we need a lot more liquidity on XRP's side in order for it to accommodate for global CBDC transactions that are going to happen 24/7, 365. We're talking trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars. Now, is XRP the only bridge currency here? Not technically, but I do think that they are positioning XRP between major central banks. I look at XRP more so for B2B, XLM more so P2P. Again, great use cases on both fronts. I think that XRP and XLM are poised for significant adoption and growth. But I think that this is where the AMM really kind of comes into play, right? This is where we talk about liquidity pools, increasing liquidity. There's a lot of great benefits to this. This got posted back in June of 2022, guys, by Crypto Eddie. And this is from the Global DeFi Conference. This is with David Schwartz. And we do see David in his awesomeness mode. The AMM, automated market making, a must-have for any decentralized exchange, or you'll be left behind. There is a secret sauce 153 in this video, new and unusual. XRP Ledger, the first decentralized exchange, has a huge competitive advantage with the AMM to leapfrog other decentralized exchanges. Specs published shortly. Check this out.
So a lot of people don't know this, but the XRP Ledger was the original decentralized exchange, fully functional since 2012 without incident. Where you need a decentralized exchange is where you have access to a number of interesting tokens. So if some people have XRP and some people have Bitcoin and some people have dollars, that's when there's a need for a decentralized exchange. And what we built is a decentralized exchange, payment, pathfinding, all of these sophisticated features, order books, to make a multi-asset payment just work. As it happens, the XRP ledger has a number of design features that give its DEX a huge competitive advantage, especially if combined with automated market making. The XRP ledger today does not have any support for automated market making, and I think all major DEXs have shown that is a must-have. The XRP ledger uses order books instead. These work, and they work well. They just don't provide as much liquidity as automated market makers can. And I think another important point is automated market makers allow stakeholders to get a return from the profits the automated market maker gets. And done right, automated market makers on the XRP ledger could be a game changer, uniquely positioning it to leapfrog other DEXs. Those who don't seek innovations that make managing liquidity on these DEXs simpler and accessible are going to get left behind. Because of the XRP ledger's inherent advantages as an AMM and DEX platform, Ripple's engineering team is designing an expansion to XRP ledger's order book DEX to include an automated market maker, offer better user experience, and greater liquidity to this long tail of tokens. The XRP ledger has multi-path payments that can draw down liquidity from multiple sources, and that will include the various automated market makers. So, for example, if I'm going from XRP to USD, I can go directly from XRP to USD through an automated market maker order book, but I could also go XRP Bitcoin USD, XRP Ethereum USD through these multiple paths. And then there's the secret sauce I mentioned, reducing impermanent loss. This is novel in the automated market maker market. And innovations like the XRP ledger automated market maker are just an example of working to own a slice of that DeFi pie.
Now, again, as we really look at the AMM with liquidity pools and things like that, this is going to significantly increase the liquidity for XRP. I mean, as we look at the overall market for XRP, it has been increasing. This is increasing liquidity as well for XRP. And when I say that, I mean, you have on-demand liquidity corridors. You have, retail use cases on the XRP ledger. There's over 1,500 plus use cases on the XRP ledger right now. You also have this possible AMM, which is going to allow for liquidity pools to be created. You're going to see the market for XRP expand rapidly, increasing the liquidity for XRP, allowing for something like this to happen and be possible. But change is in the air. I personally believe over the next couple years, we are going to see the global financial system shaken to its core and again usher into the digital age. This is all following the fourth industrial revolution pipeline. And again, I've talked about this move with Saudi Arabia and the Brics and things like that, and everyone is talking about how this is going to kill the dollar. This is all part of the plan to usher us in as fast as possible into this transformative age of payments and the financial system. Gold plays a crucial role. Crypto plays a massive role, in my opinion. Every single thing that we have saw last year, when you look into the articles around Brics utilizing crypto for cross-border payments, go back to 2022. I mean, it was a big discussion immediately after the sanctions. They were turning to crypto. Crypto and crypto-driven processes, it is a big deal and it's a crucial piece of the pie. But also, as we look at Ripple, I do believe that Ripple's at the forefront of this major move. That's why we have been seeing, them working with the IMF, the ECB, the World Bank, the BIS. I mean, things are underway, and the significant pieces of the puzzle that we have been talking about, Basel III, ISO 20022, ISO TC 307, all of these changes are a part of the game. So please pay attention to these changes as we do usher into 2024. Don't get too caught up in them. Obviously, make sure that you are taking some profits off the top with XRP. Make sure that you have a bag of XRP that you will never sell. Make sure that you are paying yourselves. Make sure that you are de-risking. But at the end of the day, we are underway in this massive move that has been happening for a while around our global financial system. So with that, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on if you guys have more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Peace out.